Josh, like, may I call you, like, are you still going by J Trip? Because this is what I heard in this singing reel
So
that
that
you
was,
have.
yeah, I made a transition. So I did, when I met Rick, I was going by J Trip as the artist, but Joshua Triplett was my transition when I moved to LA. It's been 8 years, which is crazy, but still, some people still call me J Trip though. So I'll answer if you call.
And when you have a very extensive resume. Like, I literally, like, searching you out was so much fun, and I wanted to share this music competition video, if that's okay, because it was so good.
Sure.
You said it was from MTV's Copycat, I believe.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So here
8 years ago, guys. 8 years ago. Don't judge me too much.
So this is Jason Derulo. Here's you singing Jason Derulo. Here you are. I love this.
So wrong for so long, only trying to please myself. I know I should have treated you better, but me and you were meant to last forever. So let me in, give me another chance to be a real man. Yeah. I just didn't know what to do. Yeah. So baby, what you say?
Yes, daddy.
Bro, I was so young, man. That was my first thing. That was my first thing out of LA. Like, I moved to LA. I lived in New York for 5 years, so I went for college, but I moved back to Ohio when my wife got pregnant. And I was like, I want to get to LA. So I get to LA, didn't know anybody. I was doing magic tricks on Hollywood Boulevard to make ends meet. I was literally taking tips from them. And then got the opportunity on a website. It was like, hey, submit this, music. We're looking for super fans. And I was like, well, I went to school with Jason Derulo. I actually went to musical theater school with Jason. So I know him pretty well. I can probably pull him off. So I sent him the tape. I got the audition. I got the booking. I was like, this is cool. But when I saw myself on TV live, I was like, yo, I got to be an actor, bro. It was nothing cooler than being on national television. It's like, you just felt like, yo, I made it. Like, I've been grinding for a long time, but I ain't never been on national TV, It was really cool.
It is
he's being hella modest. He's been modeling, acting, and fucking
okay.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm just gonna put that out there. He's a tourist, so,
Hey, Team Taurus out here.
No, you're an amazing talent because you just look so natural. Because I find it surprising that you say that was your first project, big project, and honestly, you just seem like you belong on stage, and there's a couple more clips on the singing reel, and I
Hey, look, I'm a punching bag at this point. Do what you do.
It's very inspiring to see your story, especially 16 monologues, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Angela, I'm gonna go to you. Any questions for Mr. Joshua? Mr.
Joshua? Okay, I was like, did I even ask my question for Rico? I'm like, we skipped around. I don't even remember what's going on. No. Sorry. That scene, that little clip, the little copycat one or whatever, you said it was your first time, but there's something about your voice that I absolutely love when people can do it, but I don't know. I think it's like your vibrato when you hold your note. Like, I love the way that sounds, that little vibration that's in the back of it. It's like not everybody can do that. And it almost, it almost sounds like it's synthesized. Like it's like a point when you hit it and like you did it on the first one, but you didn't do it on the second one. So I was like, ooh, I was in my feels.
I appreciate that.
And that was your first time. That's really good.
That's so crazy that you said that. It really made my day because I used to struggle with my vibrato. I grew up in the church. That's why I started singing in church gospel. I studied musical theater, but when you start into classical and some musical theater things, you have to really control your vibrato, especially if you're singing in an ensemble, because your vibrato can be a different level than someone else's next to you, and you want to sound unison. So it took me a long time to be able to control it. So when I get an opportunity to sing as a lead singer or a solo, I get to showcase that. But it took me a long time to really just embrace my sound, So I appreciate that. Thank you.
It felt like you wanted that. You had to get that out. You were like, I got 15 seconds to make this impression. Let me go ahead and hit them with this real quick. And then
around. I got
you know how
around.
When you do the dance or something and you hit the choreography right and you be like, ooh, and then the next move be extra hot because that first move was saucy. That's exactly how you did vocally. You were like, let me do this real quick. Oh, snap. Everybody went up for that. Let me hit the extra note at the end. And you were so smooth with it. You did the little ooh like that or whatever. I was like, okay, he was feeling it. Like, I
was
like
definitely feeling it. And one thing about me is I always love the live audience, and I don't get to perform live, musically live. So as an actor, I'm cool. I can be in front of a big audience, which is why I like musical theater. But when it comes to singing, I was always just a little shy. Like, it just feels like there's immediate judgment, or like someone is comparing you. So even me doing a singing competition was definitely out of my, like, I don't, American Idol, The Voice, was like, for what? Like, I don't want to prove that I'm better than someone else. You know, I do this because I love it. But being in front of that live audience, I was like, man, you get that immediate feedback. Either they like it or they don't. And if they like it, like you said, it just boosts you up. You're like, oh, let me sing a little bit louder. Let me hit that note a little bit harder next time. You know, it's just, I'm sure Rico know, you know, just from performing live all the time. But, you know, musically is different than acting for me.
Yeah, it's more vulnerable for sure. I think that's the I'm not, you know, I've had little acting experience, dude, but you know, like I know you get to be someone else in that moment, but when it's you singing your part, it's just you.
It's just you. It's literally, bro, it's literally like I'm transparent. This is what I have. This is what I feel. This is how it sounds. And it's literally just removing that veil. And again, there's so much judgment in that, good or bad, you know, but it's scary as an artist to just put your all out there and for it not to be well received. You know what I mean? So luckily in that case, it was. It was.
It's funny that you said something that I often dealt with going to a lot of auditions, especially in New York City, because it's a bigger, you know, playground. You don't really realize that when you're moving there and, you know, continuing your career into a different level, because the level that you are is fucking fantastic. But I wanted to like kind of hit on that, like, so because I'll get to Courtney. But my question for you, I have a couple of them, but my question is for you, that vulnerability, like how do you handle that? Because knowing, you just said that, you know, when people are looking at you on camera and on stage, you know, people are judging you. How do you get to that? And what is your advice for someone who's perhaps new to the industry?
So when I lived in New York, I dealt with it differently, and I was unhappy when I was in New York. I was doing musical theater, and I would go to the audition, and you know, say it's a 10 o'clock appointment, and you get there at 8, and you're waiting in line, and finally you get in. You're hoping you get a call back, which is probably the same day, 2, 3 o'clock. And you waste your entire day on one audition. So you put so much into it, you're by default waiting by the phone. Like, did I get it? Like, oh my God, like I put my all into this. This opportunity can change my life. Did I make it? And I was constantly trying to force puzzle pieces to fit and constantly trying to make things move the way I wanted them to move. And because of that, you get envious of other people's success. You get jealous. You don't understand why God is not moving your life the way you want it to be. And I was very unhappy. But when I moved to LA, this is going to sound crazy, but I learned from my daughter. She was 2.5 years old when I moved to LA. I took her to an audition with me. The first audition we did, we booked it. It was for a supermarket out here in California. But one thing I noticed about her is she went to the audition. She had fun. Moving your life. Came home. Okay, perfect. So she would go to the audition, have fun, come back, and forget about it. And I noticed once I adopted that innocence of a child into my lifestyle as an artist, and I realized that everything happens for a reason. If it's mine, it's mine. If it's theirs, it's theirs. Praise them for that and celebrate their success. And it just made me realize that judgment doesn't matter. Like, you go into audition, there's 10 people judging you if you're right or wrong for the role or for whatever it may be. But it's like, at the end of the day, they don't even know that they don't control it. They don't control if I not, whether, like, it sounds weird and it's very deep and spiritual, but everything is going to happen the way it's supposed to. You know what I mean? So it's like, if they decide that it's not for me now, it's okay, that wasn't for me, but something else is coming, because, you know, I can always kind of see the bigger picture, essentially, you know. But come back to your question more specifically, when you're dealing with judgment, you can't allow it to affect you because everything that's happening is supposed to happen the way it's going to happen. Like, I don't know. Not even you control it. And I became so much happier with that, and I became more successful with that. I became more supportive of those around me, and I just started winning. Each little blessing, bro, like each little thing is like, yo, it's huge. So then the bigger ones start coming, you really start to appreciate everything. And then the journey, you're present for the entire journey. You never take anything else for granted because you're doing the work at, the way it's supposed to be done.
Mm-hmm. I'm about to cry. Like, I don't know about you two, but like literally I'm learning this in my real life and professional life as well, because you're absolutely right. Courtney, you have a question for Josh, because we have to get to his video really quick. We have a little bit of a discussion. I think we have a little bit more time. Maybe we can squeeze out. But Courtney.
So I have a 2-part question. I feel really terrible like asking these questions because I feel like this has been like super like insightful. So I'm just gonna go super shallow here. I'm really sorry.
No problem.
Is Nathan Fillion as amazing as I hope that he is? I'm so sorry.
I just want to ask you a question that has nothing to do with you at all. But so
I have another question though that totally relates.
No problem. I'm happy to answer. So he's awesome. It sounds weird, but I didn't have any scenes with him. And due to COVID, we were separated quite a bit. We have to get tested every 48 hours. Everyone on the cast. So just to make sure that everyone's safe and secure. And when we do take our mask off in front of the camera, we're good. We don't have to really be in that 6 feet. But I got a chance to meet him on Zoom at a COVID. It was actually a COVID training. But he was just like, almost like the character. He's that funny, quick, like the class clown. You don't expect him to be that, But I can tell just out of all the main cast members that he's probably the funniest, the jokester all the time. But really seemed like a really nice guy. And, I'm looking forward to working with him and meeting him in person as they bring my character back.
Okay, and so my second question is, so you're married, you have children, obviously, as you said. And I am just guessing off of the last episode that I watched is that there will be a relationship sparked up between you and Jackson if this like goes that way. Like, how is it for you when you're a straight married man who's got children and playing a completely different role in this show? Like, how do you cope with that? And even furthermore, how does your wife feel about this?
Gotcha. It's a great question. I appreciate you. Yeah. He's like, come on, Michelle, come on. It's a great question. I'm glad you asked because being that the episode just aired, no one has brought it up yet. When I was presented the opportunity, I knew it was a gay role. And me, I'm super comfortable in my skin. I'm married, going on 12 years. My daughter's about to be 10. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm cool. And as an actor, I feel as though it is my job and my duty to be able to portray all walks of life, no matter what or how. I do have my personal boundaries in the sense of I would like it to make sense. Like, I don't want to just do a crazy sex scene with a guy if it doesn't make any sense. Like, is this adding to the story, adding to the character development? Then it makes sense, But first of all, Titus is incredible. So working with him was comfortable in that capacity. But I think I was excited when I got the opportunity because I have a lot of friends who feel as though the label gay is a very negative connotation, or like people presume what it is, very flamboyant, or, a man acting like a female, or whatever the case may be, that society has coined, the phrase gay when it comes to a male. So for me, I was like, I get the opportunity to showcase the part that I think it is as an actor. on behalf of some of my close friends who are gay that don't act like what society says they're supposed to act like. I get to be a straight man, you know, on a horse, a cop, that, you know what I'm saying? I'm bad out here, I'm hard out here, but I just happen to be attracted to another man. And I was like, there's nothing more to the character in the relationship than that. And I know love because I've been married. I know love because I've been in other relationships. So it is my job as an actor to make Officer Young just like, or eventually maybe even love this character for who and what he is. Like, it's nothing else. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think anything other than that is just unnecessary.
I love
and my wife
that
is
answer.
cool with it, by the way. she does be joking me though. She was like, "Do I need to call Officer West in here?" I'm like, "Come on, man." Like, she'll jab. Like, she will do that.
Bring her on camera.
So do I need to call?
Let's do it.
I'm like, "Oh, really? You gonna joke me like that for real?"
I thought about it before. Like, you know, I really love like Blake Lively. Absolutely love her as an actress. Really do. And I've seen a lot of her films, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what Ryan Reynolds thinks about this. Like, he's incredibly, you know, on the higher end of the attractive spectrum. How would you feel about this? And I'm the type of person that like puts myself in this situation, and I'm like, would my husband?
How would you? Yeah.
Like,
how would you feel?
It's not something that, like, you know, I'm not a born actress, and my husband's not. I mean, we're.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot of security, and so my wife, she's not an actress. I mean, I've put her into a couple of commercials with the family, but she knew off the bat I was an artist, I was a creator, I was an actor, and you know, being portrayed as being in relationships with other people would never bother her. I mean, I've had at least 50 wives in different commercials. Like, by this time, you know, it's like, it is what it is, you know. I'll be at auditions, I'm like, "Oh, this is my wife." It's like, "Oh, I played this wife in the Pizza Hut commercial. Nice to meet you." And it's like, "Oh, this is awkward. Don't fight." You know what I mean? Like, but it takes a very special and secure person who's understanding and trustworthy and loyal, and, you know, just knowing that, I'll put it this way, she's never made me choose the art or her. She's never had to make me pick that, you know, and that's, as an artist and as a husband, as a father, I would never feel comfortable having to choose, because everything is equally as important. Like, it's a part of me. Everything is an extension of me. So I'm grateful for that. But I just want to say real quick, the first time I had to kiss a man on camera was actually Daniel Tosh. It was a Subaru commercial. And Daniel Tosh is from Tosh.0, if you don't, if those watching don't know, from Comedy Central. But I get in the car, he gets in the car and I kiss him, and he looks at me and I'm like, "You got in the wrong car again?" And he's like, "Yeah." Sorry. So he gets out. But I was like, this is just so funny because he's a straight man that's married. I'm a straight man that's married. And I was like, yo, if I'm willing to do this, like, it's for the art. Who cares? You know. But of course, I had a few comments like, "Okay, you know, who are you? What you doing in LA?" You know, it's like, I'm cool, bro. I'm just chilling. I'm just acting.
Yeah, I'm getting gigs. Mind your business.
Yeah, I'm getting these checks. What you mean?
Mind your business, right?
I get this.